Well, we're back. We showed you some Puerto Rico wrestling there. We're going to be going back to Puerto Rico for some more, including a great cage match involving Wendy Richter. We're here now with young Thomas Wagner. And Thomas, I think we said a while ago you were 13, I think, were we right? Mm-hmm. 13 years old. Let me ask you something. How long have you been drawing like this?
Well, I started out drawing in school and I really liked it.
Obviously. Vince is looking at a comic book about Rowdy Roddy Piper that Thomas drew. Not only did you draw it, but didn't you write it? Mm-hmm. I mean, you actually wrote it, scripted it, and then drew it and everything, right?
Sure did.
And this is a comic book. Vince, what do you think?
I love it. It's so neat and everything.
He did a good job, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we want to show him the picture. You know, about an hour and a half ago, we asked Thomas, Vince asked Thomas to draw a picture for us here on WrestleThon. And we told him just to take a look around and to draw a picture. Let's take a look at the picture that Thomas drew. Godzilla terrorizes the studio. And he's got Godzilla tearing up everything. Ugly, ugly. Oh, wait, that's Lon. Oh, I'm sorry. Lon's there with his good buddy, Godzilla. And that's the picture that Thomas drew. Thomas, let me ask you a question. With everything going on around here today, how come Godzilla?
It was the most interesting thing on the set.
Thomas, you put him up to that, didn't you? How much? Admit it, Lon Thomas paid you to draw Godzilla to say that, didn't he?
$50.
$50. That's about what Thomas makes every day. Lon Thomas. I knew Thomas was behind that. Well, we want you to know how much we appreciate the pictures you send us. We hope you'll keep sending them to us. And I will tell you this, Thomas doesn't even know we're going to do this. We've been so impressed with the comic book that he did here that we are going to take a copy of it, and I'm going to send it to my good friend Bill After at Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, along with a suggestion that maybe he ought to get in touch with you about letting you do a comic strip for the magazine. I know they don't have one in the magazine. I think the work we've seen, Vince, don't you think he could put that into Pro Wrestling Illustrated and make something good that kids would love to see?
It ought to be a comic series.
It ought to be a comic series. I agree. Why don't we do this? Why don't we, Vince, hold it up to the camera here a little bit, tilt it down a little bit so that Mr. Goodwin over here can get a picture of it, and let's let our fans see some of the work that Thomas has done. It is really terrific. Thomas scripted it out and then drew it, and it's not just a few pages, it's a full book. It's just like a real comic book. Thomas, I think you're really to be congratulated on this.
Thank you.
Okay, well fans, we're going to be going back to some Puerto Rico action. You had something, though, you asked me a few minutes ago. I asked you about Godzilla, and what was it you wanted to know?
When are you going to give it away?
When are we going to give it away? Right now. How about we give it away now? You two guys have been after me all afternoon to give away that Godzilla doll. We've got two of them. So we're going to give away one of those two dolls right now. That big 6-foot Godzilla doll.
Number...
No, we're going to do number 85, and I'll tell you why. The movie was Godzilla 85. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the 85th caller. Caller number 85 to the WrestleThon hotline, 892-3636. 892-3636, the WrestleThon hotline. The 85th caller is going to win a 6-foot-high Godzilla doll that not only starred in his own movies, starred in a comeback in Godzilla 1985, but now to top off his career has starred as a portrait done by Thomas Wagner. Just think, Thomas, I bet someday Godzilla will be able to look back and say, I was one of the first portraits that Thomas Wagner ever did. How you feel about that?
Famous.
Famous, good. Let's take you back. Yeah, you guys have got to get to the phones to get that 85th caller. But right before we do that, let's take the fans back to Puerto Rico, and let's take them back now to the rest of that match with the Mummy. No, not the Daddy, the Mummy. Let's go back to Puerto Rico. I told Ken I wouldn't do that. Let's go back to Puerto Rico right now.